Never complain and never explain. A very good morning to all my friends and students. Here I am, Pushpa from St. John's International School, Fatehpur, Haryana. As you all know that, my dear friends and students, I'm just handling the subject of social science, all the parts of the social science. And on the previous video, we get the lesson from grade 10 in geography, chapter number 1, resources and the development. Okay, it's all about the environment that surrounding us. What is the term of the resources, and how the resource we want to conserve, and how to control the measures, the deployations of the resources. Yeah, okay. So all those things we just seen on the previous video, and today I'm going to take a topic from grade 8, our past, chapter number 1, that is our past is history part. Chapter number 1, how, when and where. So particularly this lesson, many of my grade 8 students had questions about this lesson. Ma'am, I didn't understand this word, I don't know the meaning of this word. So that the demand of the students, so I would like to put this video. Okay, so grade 8, chapter number 1, how, when and where. Usually in the English, the WH, the without the WH question, the statement doesn't deliver in the right manner. Not only the English, for the history also. Okay, history means if we want to discuss some important event or important program, important meeting, whatever it is, important event we want to just discuss means the dates and the time and the period play a major role in that. Without knowing the date, the time and the period, we can't deliver that thing into an understandable manner. Okay, if I want to tell the ancient history means, so it is comes around once the 2500 years back. So I have to mention the period. So that's why you can able to understand, okay, it is a past event. So that's why the dates and the times and the period play a major role in the history. So without these three things, we couldn't take up the event in a set of role. Okay, so in general, time is a very important to know about the past, the present and the future. Okay, because if I want to tell about the past means once in the period of 19th century, I would like to say like this, once in the period of 19th century, it is a past, and present, now I am going to teach, and today, I mentioned today. Okay, for the future means for day after tomorrow. So these are all the importance of the time. For to know about the past, to know about the present, to know about the future, time plays an important role. Okay, like the second point is, like in the histories, the dates tells when the country born. Okay, for example, if we just cross a road, we just look at a bus. Okay, you just think on yourself, when the bus will be discovered, who discovered the bus, who introduced the transport system, who identified that, who invented the bus. So all those questions arise in our mind. Okay, without knowing the dates and the times and the everything, we couldn't answer to those your questions. Okay, so like the dates and times plays the important role in the history. When our country will born, when we get the independence, when we get our national leaders get into the revolutionary momentum. So when the industrial revolution born, when the papers were identified, when the pens were discovered. So all those things only answerable only to get a know of the particular date and the time. Okay, and these are important to know or answerable to all our questions I said before. For example, the bus service started, who started and where it is started first, and all those examples. Okay, so date and the time in the history. In the history book, in the textbook of the history, the exact day, the exact time is not correctly. Okay, they not tell about that exact time, because the archaeologists assume, okay, this maybe happened in this time. So all the criteria says is equal to on that time. Okay, but why the date and time are not accurately means the people who are living in that period are not lived in that period. Now that's the present period, because too much of period, so they died naturally. So on that period they don't have use of pen, pencil and notes. They used to put a stone writing only. And so days after the stone get into eradicated, and all the important notes, all the important that points are devastated. So that's why the archaeologists assume, okay, this event is done will be on that period. So they assume the dates and the time are not accurately fixed by the archaeologist, and all these are assumptions, maybe like this period or this period. Okay, it's like near to that period, not an exact period. Okay, then the next point is why date and time is so important, my dear friends. Okay. I give you your personal examples. Take up our personal example. So, first question to be asked by an unknown person to us means, who are you? Who are you? If you call me means, I just ask, who are you? Where you are from? Why? What is the purpose of you contact me? So that's, and for the knowing person means for to filling any applications and at all any anything means in the application, first is your name and second is your father name and third is your date of birth. Why they ask date of birth? When you are born. So that's why they can able to calculate some other thing, right? So that's why the date and the time is so important means without knowing them we cannot fix ourselves as a stagnant. Okay, the first point is to know our past. The date and time is so important. Why? First point is to know our past. Okay, and the second point is regarding histories. Why date and times are so important regarding histories? First point is to know our past, and second point is the important wars and the important battles are done in some period. So by knowing of that war and the battle, we could recreate our history, and we just know about, okay, on that period the people are like that. So that's why we can able the struggling of that peoples we can able to know. And the third thing is the struggling of the previous period. Okay, and fourth one is how the people. Now we have every facilities, every technologies and it all, but people who are living in the ancient period means how the people contact, how the people communication between themselves, between them. So all these questions are answerable only to know about their past, only to know about their survival and their habitat and the food resource, all kind of things. Okay, and fifth point is the word kingdom, and when the administration, the rulers are born, and which is the first kingdom. So all those things we have to know. Today we just know about, we have that government, central government, state government, prime minister, president, CM, PM, and all the cabinet ministers. We just know all these things. But one thing about the previous period, that is the ancient period, who ruled the country, how the kingdoms got elected. So all those things. So to know all those things, we have the importance of date and times is important. Okay. So next topic of this lesson is which dates. Which date means how the event means how we choose a set of dates. Not eatable dates, it's a days. Okay, how we choose a set of dates as important. Okay, so days is a compose or story of our past. Okay, the dates are the story of our past, we said before, and it's focused only on the particular set of events. It's not tell about the day to day. The histories is not tell about the day to day events. Only the important and the particular set of event we fixed the date. Okay, for example, the Governor General of India during the British government get into the country, almost it is the 17th and 18th century, the East India Company and the British government ruled our country. So once first the Governor General of British, then Governor General of Bengal, then it came to as the Government of India Act of 1935. It is turned to be as a Governor General of India. So who are all the Governor Generals who ruled India? So first it was Warren Hastings, and it was ends with Lord Mountbatten. Okay, the list of the Governor Generals who ruled our country. So it is a set of events. And these names, these set of Governor Generals tells about their personalities, their characters, their administration talents, their politics, their rule of administration, the peoples of the revenue, the tax collections, how the administration models, all those things only tells about set of these events in a particular date. Like the set of dates, the set of events are divided by the dates. So that's why we get the answer for the personalities and the character and the achievements and the politics of all the questions and etc. things. Okay, to write a story or to tell a story. If you want to tell a story means, if you want to write a story means, we need to divide the chapter first of all. Okay, on every video I used to say, so this video is going to be a 3 parts. So the first topic, the second topic and the third topic. Like that I would be delivered. Why I am delivered means it is kind of a synopsis of what is going to be the next 15 minutes or next 20 minutes. That's why to tell a story also we need to separate the chapters. So that's why the people can able to understand this is the first period and the following periods things are done by the secondary and the tertiary thing. So that's why the coherence, the continuation should be perfectly in manner while we divided the chapters. Okay, and the third topic of this lesson is how do we periodize. Here the periodize means it's a period. So the separation of a periodize, the divided of the period is a periodize. Okay, period means the year. Okay, which year, which period this event, the famous what is called the Battle of Panipat, which period which was done. So it was a period of medieval time. Okay, why do we periodize? Why we want to periodize? To periodize, the events gives the characteristics of time and it reflects. By periodizing, it reflects our ideas about the past, okay, and it is a significance of the change from one period to another period, means the next period, how a particular thing was transferred, the change to the another period. So while we have to know about the changes and the transformations of a particular things means we want to periodize. We want to divide that particular thing into separate chapters. So that's why the periodize is very important. For example, in your textbook, they giving the example. In your textbook, they give the James Mill, the famous Scottish political philosopher example. So in 1817, so James Mill, he is a Scottish political philosopher, an economist and all-rounder. He is an omnipotent. Okay, so one of his famous books was History of British India. History of British India. In this book, he separated, he divided, he periodized the event of that period, event of that time. How means he separate that particular book into 3 chapters, 3 parts. One is a Hindu part, and another one is a Muslim part, and another one is a British part. Means how the Hindus, Muslims and British. James Mill divided his book into 3 different chapters, 3 different volumes. We can say it as a volumes. Okay, why he want to separate means the things are done in the Hindus period is changed in the Muslim period. Okay, the things are changed in the Muslim period. The things are done both the Hindus and the Muslim period is totally transformed and totally changes on the British time. So to know about the transformation, to tell about the transformation, we need to divide, we need to separate the histories. Okay, so the reason for the James divided this, he thought all the ancient societies on that time were at the lower level of civilization than the Europe, because the Europe had the highest kind of civilizations. So according to him, according to James Mellema, the British came to India, he just see that thing in a very luckily manner, because before the British, Hindus and the Muslim rulers ruled our country. So on those Hindus and Muslim rulers, on those period of time, the people get lots of religious intolerance there, and lots of caste discriminations, and kind of superstitious beliefs are prominently placed those the Hindus and the Muslim rulers. Okay, those they are ruling. Okay, but once the British came to rule, means all these things are smashed out. Okay, all these things are smashed out. So once the westernly and the European manners started into born. So these abolished all these manners, and James felt to introduce the European lives and European laws, European institutions and European values. That is means the westernized values. Okay, so he suggested British administrations for the enlightenment of the Indian people, because on those period while the Hindus and the Muslim rules our country, means the people get suffered lots of caste discriminations, my dear guys. So there are many kind of incidents are done in the caste discriminations, discrimination in the caste, region, gender. Even though the gender, during the 19th century, we do have the gender discrimination. That is, men can do this thing and women do not do these things. So the things are changed now. Okay. So during the British ruling period, the separations of periods are like this. During the British time period, there were 3 separations of period. So they divided the ancient period and medieval period and modern period. Okay, means ancient period means the people who live on the too long before. Okay, the Paleolithic, the Neolithic, the Mesolithic, the Stone Age, where the civilization born is an ancient period. And medieval period means it is not full of modern, but it came to modern. Okay, it's not full of modern. The modern period does not exist, but it is nearby modern. We can say it is like that, and many the Muslim rulers or many in that medieval period. The Muslim ruler hand over the medieval period, and the modern period is totally the modern period. So the British came to India in between of medieval and the modern. The modern is full of independence and the British ends. The medieval is in the middle of the medieval, the British came to rule. Okay, ancient medieval and the modern period. So we say British period is a colonial period. Sorry. So we say the British period is a colonial period. Then this is the base of the next topic. What is colonial? And the fourth topic, I think so. So what is colonial period? The word colonial refers to a country is not fully freedom. Okay, the country is not fully freedom. It is a easy way to understand what is colonial. Means our Indian during the British period of time, our country is a colonial country, because we have a freedom in certain and we don't have a freedom in few things. Okay, so by this book, on having the further chapter, on having the in a grade of 8th coming of the chapter, see about what are the how the British get into the India, how they conquer the India, how they admin the India, how their tax system, how their revenue system, how their economic changes, and how the society get the drastic change from the ancient, medieval and the modern. So all these things are seen in this full of grade 8. Okay, then how do we know? This is the fourth topic, to know. So if I have any doubt nowadays, if we have any doubt on a particular thing, means what we do, we just take up a phone and type it and click the Google and just type what's our doubts, and you just put the enter, so the Google give the answer, right? But think about the past. How the people know about all the events? How the people know about all the Governor General's name? How the people could able to understand the survival of those period of survival of the people of those period of time? So that is the next topic. Okay. So here we have three kind, I think so. First is an administration produces the records, and second one is survival, means not survival, surveys. Surveys becomes important, and the third one is what official records do not tell. Okay, how we do know? The first is an administration produces the records. Here we come, an important concept of this chapter is the recording. So recording is not about to know what the event done in the past, how the people. It's not know about the past and the present. It tells about actually it's yourself. Actually it's know about the self knowing also. It is kind of because try it in your home, my dear friends. Take up your phone and put a video, anything regarding your subject or regarding your own wish, regarding your own interest. Put up a video and speak with you. Okay, you just record on your voice, you just record your sayings, you just record your points, and then play again and watch. You will find your mistakes by yourself. So by finding our mistakes by ourselves means we can definitely rectify that mistake, and we do not repeat that mistake again. So that will improve your self-development. So by recording. Okay. So here the self-improvement is not play, because it is administration kind of things. So one of the important sources of those the British, we have the informations about the British in a correct manner, in a fixed manner. How we get the information? The British considered an important one, that is an act of writing. Okay, act of writing. They stored their achievements, they stored their events, they stored their instructions, they stored their memos, notions, and what is that, agreement and the policies and the survive. So all those important things, all the important aspect of the administration, the British people write about that thing and stored into the record room. They have a particular separate, they have a separate record room too. Okay, this is the writing is the important source of an official records of an British administration. So they considered act of writing is a very important one. Okay, they seems to preserve the letters and the documents, and they set up a record room separately. So the record rooms are in a 4 buildings. They have the Tahsildar office. So in Tahsildar office they preserve that recorded materials, and in the collectorate office and the commissioner office and the provisional secretariat office. So by having these 4 offices, by having these 4 buildings, they preserve their recorded material. Okay, so during the 19th century, we have the letters, memos or transfer to one branch to another branch. Okay, they are the postal department get introduced. Okay, the British only introduced the Indian postal service. Okay, and they do copied with the help. They not only write about the thing, they put copied. In our language means they put Xerox. Okay, they just have the copy by hard copy and the soft copy also, and they too have copied the recorded materials with the help of the calligraphist. Calligraphy is an art of beautiful writing. It is a writing in a way of beautiful manner. Okay, calligraphist. In our school also we have the calligraphy teacher, so make a use of my dear students. And the second topic is and survive becomes important. And second topic is survive becomes important. Survive means so British believed to administrate a country, we have to know about we should know about the property law. we should know about the property known first. Okay, so without knowing anything, we couldn't do nothing. We couldn't do anything, correct? So without knowing anything, we couldn't do anything. So by knowing of a particular thing, we can able to survive on that particular place. So this is the idea of the British. So that they introduced the survive. Okay, survey, we can say it is survey. So in the 19th century, the detailed survey, it means the topography. The topography means a particular person, or topography is well known about their location, all the aspects, geographical, economical, political, and all those things. Topography is particularly well known about that region. Okay, that is topography. And in the end of the 19th century, census. I hope the students heard a word of census. It was taken the 10 years once. It was taken 10 years once. This is very important. The census tells how the country in the 10 years period, how much the population, how much the gender, the separations of the populations, and the importance, and the other those things are done in the census. Okay, and the third thing is, this is the final part of this video, and what official records do not tell. Okay, certain the official part only we can get know of the recording materials, but out of the materials, we couldn't really know how the people lived in that period. We just simply, okay, that is how the people live, this is how the people work, and this is how they get the food, but not in the exact manner. So that tells the interest, the recorded materials tells about the people on that period's interest, their actions, their posterity, and everything, and not telling actually what the people, actually how the people live in those times, actually what are the consequences of the actions that play after that. So all these things are we didn't know by the recorded materials. Okay, so to get more informations about them, here we need to search. Here is another important thing, writing is a one way, and writing by ourselves is another good way. So writing about one thing is that particular thing is known to all. Okay, but writing about themselves is known by actually what I suffered, I want to put it into the paper. So that is the autobiography. We can say it is an autobiography. And diaries, example, the diaries. So once we wrote the diaries and the autobiography means the people come under the people of the future. The people of the future know about myself, my character, my personality, and my suffering part. So my pains are they know by having by my own writings. Okay, so that the teachers, not only the teachers, the every person tells about, write a diary and make it your language also, make it write of your language, is not a problem. But once you started the diary means you have to develop automatically, not you have to develop automatically, the writing skill is automatically developed. Okay, without knowing yourself, the writing skill of yourself is gets developed. So, and the accounts of the pilgrimage and the autobiography tells about the actual informations of the people who are living in the past. And we get to know of those peoples by the printed materials like newspapers, magazines, and the national leaders. While on nearby the independence means the lot of revolutionary things are done. So the ideas of the national leaders and the points of the national leaders are published in the newspapers and the magazines. So by having this, we just know about how the people's thought, think, and everything at all. So by getting these kind of things means we can able to know the life of peasants, the farmers, and the slaves, the artisans, and originally the upper caste and lower caste, and everybody's people, everybody's people who are living in the past. Okay, so this is why the dates and the time and the period is very important. So thus our videos of how, when, and where lesson is completed. And I hope this will be okay for you students. I hope this will be an understandable manner. If you don't have if you don't understand means, kindly call me in the doubt sections. And it was connected on 11 to 11:40 and So stay tuned with us for daily updates, and important thing is, and stay home and stay safe. Okay, bye bye and take care, students.